There are a lot of alleged reunion leaks, but the only thing that we can really confirm is what Trinity said and what Jen did. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Love Island USA Season 8 postseason. The gift that keeps on giving. As you guys know, last night, yesterday, really, for most of the day, they filmed the Season 8 reunion in Los Angeles, right? And for the first time ever in 8 seasons, Love Island USA had a live studio audience. And there was a morning taping and a afternoon/evening taping, right? And so there are these quote-unquote leaks that are coming out. And we're going to address a couple of them that I feel potentially can be right. But then we had some mess last night where late last night, somebody had got on a Twitter space and alleged that them and their mom and their auntie and their cousin or whoever it was attended the reunion taping. But then when they were asked specific questions, it was like, oh, that might have happened in the morning session. And they were laughing, they were joking, and then I felt like they were trying to incite Stan Wars by trying to pin the core four against each other on who defended each other more and this and that, and it was a hot mess express. And the reason why I know that space was a nothing burger, because whatever happened with Anaya at the reunion, she immediately went to Carl's mom's page, who did a post about her and Anaya's mom jet-setting Hollywood while their kids are, adhering to their filming obligations for Love Island USA, that they've went out to eat, that they went to go look at the Hollywood sign, they're sightseeing, they're living it up. And do you know who I saw immediately there in the comments? Anaya, Melanie, and Trinity. Saying, these are our favorite moms, da-da-da-da-da. And Anaya reposted the picture of Anaya's mom and Carl's mom in her Instagram-y story. So that told me right then and there, any type of goofy stuff, any type of goofy narratives that the people are trying to come up with, y'all need to save y'all breath. Some things that do appear to be at least something that might be of something that potentially happened is it looks like Jen has unfollowed Jaiden. So I wonder what that is about. If it's over a man, if it's over a friendship with Kenzie, that is something, I guess, that is something potentially that might have some legs, right? Then Trinity got online, got on her Instagram-y channel and was like, listen, look at here. Any rumor that somebody is saying I got kicked out of the reunion, I got escorted out of the reunion because some of y'all want black women to fight and have all this aggression and be on some knuck if you buck time in every situation. She said all that was fake news. And there were content creators on the Tickety Talk that were pushing this as a fact. And it just didn't make any sense. But what I found kind of as a quote-unquote common denominator, if you will, is people were picking and choosing, I guess, what was the main quote-unquote main storylines to leak. And I felt like there was a lot of things that they were not addressing. Like, I feel like Zack Attack's gaming and disrespect towards the women was a huge storyline. But I haven't seen anybody address it. I feel like Kenzie Island is a major storyline. And I wasn't seeing any of that addressed in the quote-unquote leaks. I felt the men's behavior for that live camera action view of their behavior at Casa Amor was a major storyline. But I'm not seeing that, right? I'm not seeing certain things, right? I'm not seeing certain things being discussed. I did see across a few platforms, across a few places, both on the TikTok and the /Twitter, and this is where we're going to get into the alleged portion of it all, is basically if you were trying to look for some type of big drag fest session between Casey and Anaya, that you're going down the wrong road. That is not going to be the case. That is not going to happen. If that is what you are looking for, you are going to be sadly mistaken. And it wouldn't shock me. It seems like what people are saying, we will find out in a couple of weeks if this is true, that they just both want to move on. They both have other connections that they are pursuing. Let's just put a lid on this. If Anaya wasn't PR trained right now, and if she was on some smoke, I would wonder if she would have questions about Casey's after Sun comments or whatever the case may be. But again, I think what has happened, there has been so much hate and so much negativity and so much racism in particular against Trinity, Anaya, and Casey, that if in fact they really didn't want to delve too deep, they're hoping, hey, let's just keep the peace. There is some crazies in our fan bases. Let's not give them anything to further attack and destroy and disrespect us. I have my thoughts and my opinions. You got your thoughts and opinions, but let's just tell them if they ask anything about us that we've moved on in our connections and that we're Gucci. So that's what I feel that is, because I don't believe that they just flat out said, I think somebody said they flat out said no comment. I don't believe that's the case, because if you say no comment to Andy Cohen, he's gonna press until he gets the answer that he's looking for. I do believe they probably were, hey, I have nothing bad to say about you. I wish you nothing but the best in your new connection. I've moved on in my connection, so on and so forth, right? Also, I think a major thing is going to be what comes of the Soul and Trinity conversation, because Soul had all that stuff to say on After Sun, and she had all those live streams that she was doing. She had briefly backtracked on Trinity once she saw the Trinity fans coming for her, and I just want to know if she's going to keep that same energy. But I feel like Soul and her talking about how she was bullied and isolated, all this and all of that, I think that is going to be an interesting talking point. And I also believe the big deal that they made about Soul and KC on whether or not they would have explored the connection is going to be an interesting question. But I feel like even with KC, I feel like if he really wanted to explore Soul that bad, he would have. He had an opportunity to save her. I just think at that point, he was already, waiting for Casa Amor to move on from his connection with Anaya, and is trying to use this Soul thing as an excuse. But he was not going to go there, since Sincere, like he said himself, once Sincere, quote unquote, started hooping, he was not going to go there. They did talk about how security was serious in terms of no phones, no recording, checking your glasses, making sure it's not those Meta glasses that can record, snap photos, all the things, all the sort. I don't know if it's true or not, if the Islanders wore the same clothes that they wore on the red carpet the day before, or if it's going to be different outfits. So I don't know if some people are making things up or not on that. But for all intents and purposes, at least them heading to the reunion, it appeared that everybody wore what they wore last night. Unless there's some type of dressing change or something else, I don't know. But it appeared that they wore the same thing that they wore yesterday, at least in their arrivals, right? Also, some things that I saw as well was this is all alleged that Casey took accountability, that there appears to be some disappointment with TT, that ultimately she appeared as a pick me for Casey. I don't know if that's true, but based off of her behavior on After Sun and on their quote unquote couples YouTube channel, that would not surprise me. Because I could see a situation where Casey's trying to take accountability and TT tries to jump in and say that he did nothing wrong. No. But yet you were the same person on the show that said if Casey did any of those things to you, of what he said about Anaya, you would have reacted way worse. And we saw a glimpse of that just when he even asked you if it was okay for him to share a bed with Sydney instead of you. There's a rumor that there might be some unseen conversations that are shown, and we will see whether or not that comes to fruition. And then also somebody else is alleging with the soul and Trinity of it all that Melanie and Anaya had her back. They're alleging that maybe Kata was quiet on the creek. So we'll see whether or not that comes to fruition. Also, there's an allegation, which I don't feel is too far off, that Anaya and Carl basically confirmed that they're still going to be taking it slow, taking it day by day, which is to be expected. That's what they said on Watch What Happens Live. Anybody that is expecting Carl and Anaya at this point to be exclusive or to be boyfriend and girlfriend, that should be a red flag to you. In real life dating, if you've only known somebody for a couple of weeks, and not only that, have basically a long distance situation going on, to try to quickly progress the relationship and y'all barely see each other and y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all barely been together that long, that to me would be a red flag. It is a green flag that Anaya and Carl are not feeling pressured to advance and progress their relationship further than what the fans want it to be, so that they can really iron out what they want their plan to be for the progression of their relationship. But I just need them to let their moms know. They need to let Anaya's mom know and let Carl's mom know that they're taking things slow. But because I feel like these meetings that they're having, these trips that they are on together, the closeness that they have together, I mean, do they already have the wedding on you know, do they have everything already set? Do they already have the vacation to Nantucket set? Like I feel like they're having different conversations that are beyond what Anaya and Carl are talking about. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but every time I see Anaya's mom and Carl's mom together, I'm like, oh yeah, they're besties. They are besties. And I believe the sister said when she first came out of the villa, when they did Family Day, she told somebody that basically Carl's mom and Anaya's mom talk every day. So I am not surprised that they are thick as thieves, doing all this jet setting around Los Angeles while their kids have to, you know, fulfill their contractual obligations to Peacock. Then I'm trying to think if there was anything else. That was really, I mean, that was really the main thing. Oh, also, there was an allegation, not an allegation, but I'm saying alleged just because, again, I don't know if it's true or not. Make of all of this what you will. Is that Melanie and Sincere also said that they're taking their relationship slow. Even though Sincere was contemplating asking Melanie to be exclusive, I think what's going to happen with this is they're going to say that they're going to keep a lot of their relationship off of social media due to the hate, due to the negativity, and also that Sincere has to show steps that he is changed his ways from the show, and he's did that massive unfollowing. He's went on a couple of dates with Melanie and really try to repair things with Melanie's family to show that what y'all saw on the show, you know what I'm saying, it's not him in real life, or so he says, right? Somebody else said as well that they liked the way that Anaya and Carl discussed each other and discussed their connection, and that people are going to be happy. The Karnaya fans are going to be happy. Felt also that allegedly the Casa people, for the most part, were a flop. That the Casa people were not entertaining, were not interesting, or any of the sort. Alleged that, you know, Bia, Amora, and TT they were not a good look. Anaya and Melanie, you know what I'm saying, did what they needed to do when it came down to it. People are blowing the Melanie and Kenzie thing out of proportion. And ultimately, so what happened was Kenzie followed everybody from the cast when she got out the villa. Melanie never followed her back, and recently Kenzie had since unfollowed Melanie, right? And people were expecting there to be this big blow up. But remember, Kenzie said on that Call Her Daddy interview that anybody that, you know, it was the Melanie show, and that if you were cool with Melanie, you got camera time. And she said, then she reiterated on Call Her Daddy that the reason that she said that in the background of Soul's live stream was that she was under the impression that it was the Melanie show, and that oftentimes Melanie was always pulling Trinity and Anaya for chats, and Kenzie and Melanie were quote unquote supposed to be besties, but I still feel the breakdown more so had to do with the love triangle y'all was in with Corbin, and you decided to create your own alliance with Jen and Soul. I stand in that you were jealous Melanie was getting closer to Anaya and Trinity, and you also knew that you were being sneaky with whatever you and Corbin were trying to do behind the scenes, and you formed your own alliance with, you know, Jen and Soul to feel better about yourself and your actions. Allegedly, there was a KC Zack Attack Corbin unseen conversation, and an unseen Kenzie conversation, and a Sincere unseen conversation. Allegedly. We will see if any of this is true. We will see, allegedly, if any of this is true, you guys. But again, like I said, there's a few people who are not TT fans that attended this reunion, and that were a part of the live audience. So I am curious as far as, you know, what she actually said. But if it's anything, like I said, similar to the After Sun appearance, or even her on the couple's YouTube, then I'm not surprised. But it sounds like the core four, you know what I'm saying? Listen, they're the celebrities now. They're the A-listers now. They're the moment now. They're the talk of the town now. And the real reason that the cast is upset that are doing all of these clout chasing things, not named Jen, not named Caleb, you know, looking at you, Soul, looking at you, Beatrice, and Amora, and others, the real reason y'all are upset is because y'all did not get as far in the show that y'all would have liked. And yeah, y'all may have some followers, but y'all not getting the same level of opportunities and brand deals and everything else that the finalists are going to have and do have. It probably sounds like to me they can't announce their brand deals, I'm guessing, until either closer to the reunion or after the reunion, that they want the focal point to be the show still. And then they can announce their projects and stuff. But what I find ironic about that and weird about that is it's okay for Jen and Caleb and all these other people to announce brand deals, Neo, but the finalists, it's like they're in a chokehold. It's like Peacock's like, listen, look at here, you can't announce anything yet until this reunion, until after the reunion, we've got you held tight. Then also all that media that the Islanders did the day before on the red carpet. We thought these interviews were going to come out this week, but it sounds like these interviews may not come out until closer to either when the reunion airs or whatever. I don't know. It's so weird because I remember season 6 did a lot of press. They did the standard press when you are done and you are in your Fiji hotel room for like a couple of days to have that first set of interviews from the finalists, so you don't have your phones back yet to really know what the tea is. And then I believe they had a press week in Los Angeles where they were doing interviews and still didn't fully know what was said or what happened because they didn't watch the show back yet. And then they had another press week in New York for the promotion of the reunion. Even season 7 didn't get that. Season 7 did the standard post-Fiji interview, but only certain Islanders, when they got back to Los Angeles, were getting called for the major podcast. It wasn't the same press run season 6 had. And then ultimately they had the New York press week when it was reunion time. And I suspect that that might be a thing again this season with the finalists, is because it'll kind of mirror what Bravo does with Watch What Happens Live with the Housewives, with their shows and everything else. Is it's like once you do Watch What Happens Live, then you go do the press circuit. So my envision is that these interviews are not going to come out until like leading up to the reunion. And then the week of the reunion, we're going to see certain Islanders on the Today Show, potentially Jimmy Fallon, and so on and so forth. But I just have a question for Peacock. You guys can turn around in a day or two, you know what I'm saying, 24-hour footage of these Islanders, but you're telling me that y'all need, like, what is it, almost 3 weeks to turn around a reunion taping? I don't even think it took y'all that long last season to turn around a reunion taping. But I just don't feel it is going to be as messy as maybe people were anticipating. I just think what happened last season is that you had a cast that a lot of them were clout chasers. A lot of them were not there for the right reasons. And the friendships that did happen on the show that were real life friendships either got destroyed by Stan Wars, and then the other friendships that happened were not the friendships that y'all preferred to promote. So what y'all tried to do is y'all tried to over course correct in blocking primarily the finalists from doing the big time, big name interviews before the reunion because you were hoping to save these major storylines. But what you failed to realize is that you casted this season a lot of regular folks. Now, there are some clout chasers in this cast, but it was nothing on the level of season 7. And you didn't have previous influencers like Huda and Ace on this season that came in with all these followers, already had 1 million followers. You didn't have that with this cast. So you're not going to get this type of cast that is going to be doing lives every day, Instagrammy lives every day, Tickety Talk lives every day, subscriber only content, daily snappity chat content. Like, you're not getting that from these Islanders. Cameos. I think Soul and some other people got cameos, but even the finalists don't got cameos because they're like, listen, look at here, I got 6-figure brand deals on the table. So why do I need to do a cameo for it? So I feel like production over course corrected something that didn't need to be over course corrected, because I feel like the fans are hungry. The fans are starving for these Islanders because for the most part, a lot of them are likable. and you've got them in this holding cage, and it's unnecessary because a lot of them are already PR trained up, and a lot of them have seen a lot of the hate and the negativity of themselves and fellow islanders, and they're not trying to go down that messy road. And it seems like the core four in particular are going to protect each other and love each other down. And like I said in my video yesterday, Trinity already said, you're not pinning me against Anaya. So y'all that are trying to look for hit tweets on the Twitter/X or hit, posts on the Reddits or on the Tickety Talks of the world, Trinity is saying, listen, look at here. I am core four down. Y'all are not about to mess this up for us. We've got some major bags, major opportunities, and we are also real life friends. For real, for real. We already have these slumber parties. We already have these get-togethers. We are in a group chat together. We talk every day. Y'all not about to mess this up for us. I get it. Some of y'all have y'all faves. But I feel like y'all need to let these Islanders rock. I think some of y'all like the fact that y'all helped being instigators last season and breaking up some of the friendships. But that's not what's going to happen this season. But it seems, unless your name is Saul and Beatrice, that you are believing your own hype. And it is creating more nonsense. So that's all that I have for this video. We'll see what happens, but I feel like people are not real. Like I said, the things that have quote unquote leaked have either just been flat out wrong, flat out exaggerations, or the things that are believable are still not the major storylines that I feel that happened. Even though I feel that Casey and Anaya is a major storyline, based off of even just Anaya's response to it all on Watch What Happens Live, I knew for the reunion, she's not going to give it energy. So ultimately, we'll see what happens. I hate that we have to wait till the 31st. It's not like Peacock can't move it up. It's not like Peacock can't say, you know what, due to the demand, let's put it out on the 18th. Let's put it out next week. I don't know why we have to wait till the 31st. I truly don't. So I guess we'll see if there's any unfollowings or anything that happens before then. But ultimately, I don't know why we had to wait so long. So we'll be back if there's anything interesting that takes place. And I will talk to y'all soon. So with that, please do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. Hype the video like you never hyped a video before in your life. There is that. That is it. That is all. It's todos es Vidal. It's Benito. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.